Hello and welcome. You're watching To The Point. What are Dinesh Trivedi's real feelings towards the Trinamool and its politics? And how does he view Narendra Modi and his policies? And is he preparing to break with the Trinamool and embrace the BJP? Those are the key issues I shall put directly to Dinesh Trivedi, who's here in studio with me, prepared to give his first interview on a subject that has been, in fact, at the very top of the news for the last 2 days. Dinesh Trivedi, let's start with the Trinamool Congress and the way politics is being played in Bengal. You've said, in order to improve the economy of West Bengal, we should reach out to the centre and there should be no place for ego. 2 days earlier, you said, the Trinamool Congress has lost a golden opportunity to improve Bengal because of an ego problem. Whose ego is coming in the way?
Karan, that's more of a generic statement. That collectively we have no place for ego, and in our federal structure, unless and until you have a very good equation with the center, things become more difficult. I'll give you just one example, that during the freedom struggle, Gandhiji even went with a langoti to the Britishers who were supposed to be enemy, so that we have something to do with the people. So wherever people are involved, and Karan, why are we in politics? We are in politics to make sure that we contribute to the masses at large. And from that point of view, I mentioned, I did not mean to talk about any individual person.
Absolutely, but you said collective ego. So is it the collective ego of the Trinamool party that is in a sense coming in the way?
You see, if you go back in the history.
No, don't go back into history.
No, we have to, because for last 35 years, in the left rule, they always said because of center, maybe it's true. But we do not need to continue that.
You mean Trinamool is continuing the policies of the left to Bengal's detriment?
I only want to mention that we need to better our relations. For example, I'll give you one example that will be very clear. The way we are, opposition is stalling the Rajya Sabha or at times the Lok Sabha, that's not the way to do it. Parliament is meant for debating, discussing, agreeing, disagreeing.
Absolutely.
So that is where I mentioned that if you have some kind of a problem, let's say with a legislation, it's always better to sit down with the Prime Minister or the Minister concerned and say that these are our issues.
Now,
there's just no point going out on the streets and tearing papers.
You've gone one step further, and I'm quoting you again. You said to the Hindu today, in fact, that the Trinamool is creating roadblocks for the development programs of the BJP-led government. What sort of roadblocks are you talking about?
You see, legislation, there are certain legislations which are required, which are for the betterment. You can differ. Philosophically, you can differ.
Are you talking about coal, insurance? Are you talking about land acquisition ordinances?
I'm talking about everything in general. And there could be...
No, hang on. This is a specific point you made. You said TMC is creating roadblocks for the development program of the BJP-led government. What sort of roadblocks do you have in mind?
You see, I think, please, let me make myself very clear. There can be a difference of philosophy. And I must tell you, the way they were trying to grab the land in Singur by killing people, that was not the way. So there could be a genuine difference, and that difference is you can sit down and say that, look here, we cannot go beyond this. And there is always an exchange of ideas. All I am trying to say that if you want to develop, which I am sure everybody is concerned to develop, if you do not have land, where are the factories going to come?
Absolutely. So
and at the same time,
can I interpret what you're saying? You're saying there could be genuine philosophical differences between Trinamool and the central government.
Absolutely.
But sit down and resolve them.
Absolutely.
Don't let them become an obstacle.
Absolutely. That's what it is.
In a sense, then, this is advice you're giving your party. Sit down and resolve the problems. Don't let them become obstacles or roadblocks.
I am nobody to give advice because they are very mature, senior, experienced people. I can only voice my particular point of view.
This is your point of view.
This is the time where the world is looking at India. India has become the favor in the world because the economy in the world is slowing down. India is the engine of growth.
Absolutely. But I want to focus on the relationship between Bengal and the centre. Now, you've gone one step further again. You've said, and I'm quoting, the TMC is unnecessarily engaging in confrontation with the BJP, and as a result...
No, I don't think so. I've said that.
Today's Hindu
might have published, because whatever I say, I always own it up. And there is nothing wrong in owning up whatever you say. But what I meant, whatever the wordings may say, I am not so negative about anything. My life has been always positive. And in order, which I just said, that if India progresses, Bengal has to progress. Bengal used to lead the way to the world, not only to India.
You said something very interesting about the nature of politics in Bengal today. You said, it's time for mature politics in Bengal, but what are we doing? And your answer was, we are engaged in politics of violence, and even in colleges, bombs are hurled during elections. Who's responsible for this wrong sort of politics?
You know, I'll tell you, Karan, without mincing any word, I have to go back to 35 years of misrule, and I'm born and brought up, almost born and brought up in Calcutta.
You're talking about something that's happening now, not 35 years ago.
I must tell you, the culture goes on, and it reminded me of a movie. I don't know how much of movie you see.
So you're saying Bengal is the victim of a culture that is 35 years old?
No, Bengal's culture is very high up. Bengal is all about Rabindranath Tagore.
Yeah,
Bengal is all about Vivekananda. Bengal is all about Sri Aurobindo.
There are people, let me put it like this, there are people who want to listen and try and understand.
Yeah.
I'm simply asking you questions so that you get an opportunity to explain your thinking. If we keep going back to Rabindranath Tagore, we won't understand.
No,
who is responsible for what you are calling the immature politics of Bengal?
See, Karan, you may be looking for headlines, but
I'm looking for understanding.
But then you have to be little patient.
Okay.
The reason I said the real Bengal is not what we see. The real Bengal is people with tolerance, peace, love and knowledge. And that's what we need in India. When I was growing up, I have seen this violence. We don't need to continue violence in colleges, universities, even schools, because that's temple of learning. We don't need political flags in university.
To what extent are Bengali politicians responsible for this, and to what extent are they failing to understand Bengal's real culture of Rabindranath and love and imposing violence there? To what extent do you blame politicians?
I blame all of us collectively, because good people keep quiet. We need to talk about it. We need to talk in a very matured manner, in a peaceful manner, in a tolerant manner, that the time has come that why are you dividing the student community with political flags?
Can I put this to you? You said something very interesting, not about Bengal, but about the functioning of the opposition in parliament.
Sure.
I want to quote that to you. You said the negative approach of the opposition towards the government is an obstacle to the progress and development of the country. Is that one reason why I never saw you participating in those protests that held up the Rajya Sabha or the Lok Sabha? You were absent from those.
Karan, I'm a member of parliament since 1990, and I must tell you, it's not a virtue. I have never ever gone to the well of the house, and I can guarantee you I'll never go to the well of the house, because for me parliament is really a temple, and that is where temple of democracy. You discuss, debate, differ, have your viewpoint. Once in very rare a while you can walk out, but whatever you do, do it democratically, peacefully, maturely, because students day in and day out, they watch from the gallery. This is not India we deserve.
Those protests in parliament that held up legislation, particularly during the budget session.
I don't approve of that.
You don't approve of it?
I don't approve of that.
Can I ask another question? Do you support Mr. Modi's land acquisition, coal and insurance ordinances?
I must tell you, when you are representing a party, you may have your views within the party, but at the end of the day, the party whip works, and you cannot have your individual view. Individual view you can have within the party. Okay. So these are. So
even if you do support this, you can't say so in public to me.
But this is where I must come again. I must come for a fundamental thing, that this whip business should only be restricted to financial bills. We should be allowed. We should be allowed to talk our mind. Otherwise, why are we in Parliament?
I understand what you're saying.
Simple
you're saying
as
that the whip does not permit you to express your true
Absolutely.
views
Which
about
is,
these
I
ordinances.
don't agree with the whip system. The whip system must go only when there is a threat for the fall of the government.
Let's come back to the comments that I've gone through just now about Trinamool, about politics in Bengal, about opposition to the central government. The clear impression people have is that when you talk about ego coming in the way, it's either Mamta or Trinamool. The clear impression people have is when you talk about immature politics, you're talking about Mamta Banerjee's style.
Mamta Banerjee will go down in history as a leader who gave us freedom from the misrule of the left,
and then,
from the violence of the left.
And then,
so she is quite a tall national leader, and I don't think so it's appropriate for me to make any mention on that. She's a very tall leader.
But is she the ego that's stopping development? Is she the ego that's roadblocking the BJP's policies?
I think collectively we all are responsible. We all have to speak up. We all have to tell our mind, and that is where I would not like to blame any individual. And I cannot forget that Mamta Banerjee has done a lot of good work to Bengal.
The important thing is collectively the Trinamool has a responsibility.
All the opposition. When I talked about it, it was all the opposition. I can't see some representative from Bengal or anywhere else tearing papers on the floor of the House, be it Rajya Sabha or Lok Sabha. That's not our culture. This nobody should accept it. Now, and I have objections to that.
Let's come to Narendra Modi, because you've said of him, Narendra Modi is doing very good work and tremendous positive energy has been generated.
That's
Separately,
true.
you said it's now evident that he is a man with a vision and a mission.
Certainly. I have known Narendra Bhai more as a friend much before he became the Honorable Prime Minister of India. And that is why I know his vision, his ways of working. One may differ, certainly in politics, in democracy, one can differ. As far as I am concerned, wherever in the world I have been recently, everybody is talking about India, everybody is talking about the engine of growth in India. So we have an opportunity today. Let's not miss this opportunity. If government is found to be wanting, we should be the first one in a democratically peaceful manner to say that, listen, this is not on.
Do you admire Narendra Modi as Prime Minister?
Who am I?
No, it's a simple question. Do you? You're a human being.
Of course, he is doing good work, and I think we should not be hesitant. After all, he is Prime Minister of India, and we all are Indians. If he is doing good work, we should be proud. When you go out and when people talk good about India, don't you feel proud? Don't you feel good about it?
Has Narendra Modi becoming Prime Minister made a difference to the way India is perceived in the world?
Oh, any day. Any day. Absolutely. And let me tell you, and I am no sycophant to anybody. I have my strong mind. And see, the problem is, current people don't understand. For me, country always will come first. Party, leader, all those things are important. We respect them. But is the country, because of that country we are there. You look at the soldier in Siachen. We can't even stand there for 10 minutes.
Let me put this to you. Do you agree with and support the development policies that Narendra Modi is implementing?
Swachh Bharat, Make in India is such a great idea. What is Swachh Bharat? Is related directly with health. I was the health minister. Do you know, Karan, every day I get hundreds of calls for people just to get admissions in a hospital, just to get admission in a school, just to get a job. And if we are in politics, we are responsible to make India strong. So Make in India is nothing but jobs. We require a lot of jobs. And if we cannot be positive on this, what should we be positive on?
So am I right in understanding that you believe that Narendra Modi is doing the right things to ensure India's future?
He is doing the right thing, but also I will add that he does require a roadmap, he does require a team, because the vision is absolutely laudable, but at the same time, team is required, delivery is required, roadmap is required.
Two of your colleagues in Trinamool have called Narendra Modi, I'm talking of Derek O'Brien, he called him the butcher of Gujarat. Mamta Banerjee once called him a donkey.
Well, I have always lived with positive things in life. and I don't even would like to ever think about these.
So you don't endorse those comments?
Of course, you know, we have to be, in the fit of a moment one could perhaps use, but one has to be in public life very, very sensible and not use word which you would not like to.
So you disagree with this language? You disagree with this language?
I'm certain everybody, but I'm sure they perhaps might not have really literally meant it.
Well, they said it.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it.
You've known Narendra Modi, as you said a moment ago, since 1990. You've told The Hindu that you are, in quotes, in touch with the BJP. Can I ask you?
I'm in touch with everybody.
But
you see, in politics, this is another thing, that in politics, if they are of a different party, you can't talk to them.
Let me ask the question. You don't believe in political untouchability?
Certainly not.
And you believe the BJP is a party that you have a right to be in touch with?
They are the ruling party. Narendra Bhai is a friend. I have been in touch and I have no hesitation in telling. I will remain in touch also.
Have you been in touch with Narendra Modi after he became Prime Minister?
Many times.
Have you met him recently? Have you met him recently?
Of course, whenever we meet, we talk only about India. We only talk about the country, and believe me, we don't waste time even talking about the weather. Believe me, we do not have time for petty politics, and we only talk how do we do it, where do we do it, and that's what it is. And that is what is required in today's politics.
Have you been in touch with Amit Shah?
Of course, I have been in touch with everybody. I have been in touch with Biman Bose also, please understand, because I don't believe in politics of partition. I believe politics where we can sit down and agree to disagree.